Hey boys, it's your daddy. Love you both. Romeo, Casanova. When I first came up with this title, I was just doing it for wordplay mostly because Steve Jobs is famous, and But I started thinking about it, and at first I was like, I don't think I've ever met a person in real life named Steve that like I actually knew for more than a few minutes. Coworkers, nothing. It's kind of funny because it's a common name. I would think I ran into a Steve or a Steven or something, and 40 years on this planet, 40 plus. But actually, I remember Steve now. Steve Locash. I wasn't really friends with him, but I knew him through my brother. My brother was good friends with him, so I've been to Steve's house a couple times. But literally, I think that's the only Steve throughout my entire life that I actually know personally. Um, Anyways, this thing is about jobs. That's why I decided to do this one. And what I wanted to talk about, because again, as time goes, you might wonder what Daddy did. Um, you'll hear a lot of stuff about what I did or didn't do work wise and all this stuff. But I just wanted to clear the air for you boys. So again, technology the way it is, um, I'm pretty sure everything um, when it comes to the facts you can look up somewhere, um, especially since you're my boys. So here's the different jobs I've worked since I was actually 12. Um, they're not going to be in any particular order. Some of the first ones I tell you will be or earlier ones. Like I'll tell you the first four or five easy because I remember those in order. But after that, it's just what I remember because just from looking at the list I made, I've received paychecks or cash, I guess you can say, however they paid me, from over 25 different businesses. Um, and that was all between the ages of 12 and mostly 30, 35, probably. Um, haven't did a lot of work in the last 10 years, roughly. Worked on getting my degree is what I was doing. I got my bachelor's, finished my bachelor's, got my master's, and was stay home dad to you wonderful boys for a while. Um, it was lovely. It was the best time of my life with all this stuff. And um, I had someone who supported me to try to get my books out, which I've written five. Um, we proofread them, we put them all over the internet, Amazon. We made T-shirts. We even had a small business open where we physically walked into the office and had a recording studio kind of set up. No, we were trying to do different things for the last 10 years because I just want to be in the rat race. You boys, hopefully you have the same mindset. Prove that you'll work just like I did. Prove that you'll put it out there. But prove the world you'll work hard. But do something different. Don't just become a clog in the machine. Be the machine. You know, a lot of people can't say they've written five books. Period. Some can't even say they read five books in this generation. Sad as that is. You know, well, I'll talk to you more. Well, probably in the next video too. I'll explain more about the book series I wrote called the McLaughlin City series. That's McLaughlin McLaughlin City series. And they're standalones, but they go together. Kind of like you have kind of like I guess the Avengers did, where they have the individual movies, but they all tie together somehow, and in the end, there's a epic one. The series is originally written to be 14 books long, with a big epic middle, which would be book 15, and then after that, the next 14 actually are 200 years into the future, where things are a lot different. And then there's a big epic end to that one. Obviously, that's a big project, 30 books in total, plus at least 10 side project books. Again, I think that'll be a good video to share with you guys. But right now, this is about the jobs I've worked before. I guess you could say I took my leave from the workplace. Um, at 12 years old, I used to sell candy door to door. We all worked out of a van. It was a whole bunch of neighborhood kids, and this guy was driving around with milk crate or milk carton or crates, sorry, milk crates, and we sold candy door to door under different names. Ours was called Youths in Action, or Youth in Action. Yeah, I think it was Youth in Action. And I remember my speech like it was yesterday. It's so funny because some things you never forget. It was, "Hi, I'm with Youth in Action. Youth in Action is a group organized to help keep teens and kids off the streets and out of trouble. We're trying to earn money back for back to school. Can I interest you in some of our wares? I have caramel nut clusters shaped like little turtles. You can bite them, but they won't bite you back. We have Grandma's old-fashioned peanut brittle. It tastes just like Grandma. It's just not as old. You know." We had all these. I was a little salesman from when I was 12 years old, going door to door. People could get away. Well, I don't eat no candy, or I don't eat sweets. I'm diabetic. I'd be like, well, we have these hard candies. They're actually sugar free. They come in 12 different flavors and blah blah blah, assorted. Well, I just have kids and they can't have that junk. Oh, kids, we have a recolorable coloring mat. It comes with crayons and you can color on them. Add a little water and soap, wipe it off, and voila, the kids can be right back in action in the next 10 minutes. It's just you couldn't get away. And then if you said no, how much is that? That's too expensive. And then just tell them, hey, that's completely understandable. Money is tight around this time period because money's always tight to everybody, no matter what generation you're in. Money's always tight, and so we would say, that's fine. I completely understand that, sir. But any kind of donation would help. A quarter, a dollar, anything, because this is helping getting the kids off, keep the kids off the streets and out of trouble. And it also goes towards back to school supplies. That was a lie. All the tips and everything they gave like that went in their pocket, and we were told specifically not to do that. But we're 12 years old trying to make a dollar. You can't work back. Well, when I was a kid, you couldn't get a job until you're 16. There was none of these 15 exception stuff, and even then, it's pretty hard to get a job at 16. So yeah, I was 12 years old, selling can out of the back of a van. I sounds kind of creepy, rapey, and all that stuff, but it was fun times, and there was nothing crazy going on about it. Then my next job was Burger King. I got it at 15 because my mom's boyfriend at the time worked there. He lied about my age since I was 16, and I guess they trusted him. I don't know. I never filled out a form or none, no application. None. I don't remember doing it, but that only lasted a week. They made the stupid mistake of putting me in front of the grill after having me check inventory in the freezer for an hour. And I don't know if you know this, but if you sit in freezing cold, for like an hour and then you go sit in front of some sweltering heat, usually your body doesn't handle it that well. And I threw up, obviously, and was sick. And I just, at that point, I was like, I'm 15. I got other stuff to do. I'm a freshman in high school, I think I was. And I got, football practice, track practice. I'm done with this. And so, anyways, not every one of these jobs will have a story, but the ones that are appropriate will. Next was the Yum Yum Tree. I was a dishwasher. It was down by the Tacoma Dome in Tacoma, obviously. Did that for about, I don't know, a year, I guess. And then I worked for Metro Parks. I worked for three different parks where I was assistant park leader, then promoted to park leader. Um, yeah, I went and worked for Grays Harbor. Remember, these are not in order now. They're starting to get kind of gray area for me in the time periods. But I worked for Grays Harbor College, community college bookstore. That was about a 2.5, 3 year job. I mostly only worked during book buyback at the beginning of a semester. I worked at Little Caesars. That lasted only about 2 weeks. It was a horrible job. I won't go into that one. I had a job at a virtual golf course. It was indoor. That was kind of cool. Literally, you got your clubs. You went up and we cleaned the balls just like we would at a golf course and stuff. And it was indoor, and you hit the ball against the screen, and the screen would project where the ball would go technically. And it was kind of cool. I worked at two different KFCs. That's a great story. If you want to hear one of those, I might share that one day too. I worked at one, and I was doing really decent, and got threatened really bad by a customer that like attacked me literally. And again, remember, I don't know if I told you this, but I'm 125 pounds at this time. I'm 5'10". I'm skin and bones, and he didn't physically get his hands on me, but if he would have, I probably wouldn't be making this video right now. How mad he was. And it was over 10 cents. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Anyway, so I quit there, but about a year later, I went and worked at another one where I did really good and was almost assistant manager, but I didn't want that uh, job because it just entailed more work for like a nickel more back then or something. Because minimum wage Yeah, it was around $5 an hour. And when I first started, it was 4.25. It was just was not worth the stress. Um, I went on to become an expediter at Mazalon. I made the food pretty. I think I already mentioned that in another video. I worked at Paper Zone. I was the head of customer service for 11 virtual, 11 physical stores and the online site. Then there was a merger, so I became the head of customer service for 20 plus stores and two websites. I left that one because the lady I was dating at the time, they were giving her a really raw end of the deal. Um, and they accused her of theft and all this horrible stuff. And she was, I know she didn't do it because the day they accused her of doing it, we were in Tacoma, almost an hour away from Seattle, and it's supposed to happen in Seattle. And so they called the police, and they just got ugly. And they don't wrong, no charges pressed like that, but if a company can accuse someone something like that, I knew I was next in line or possibly, and I was like, it's just not worth the hour drive because at that time gas had went from being roughly 2.80 a gallon to almost five. Some of the people watching this, if anyone's watching this, will remember that time period when gas, and especially in the Washington area, was really, really expensive. Washington, California, and New York, in a major city, it was just ugly. Um, I did a half year at Sheridan Elementary as a daycare attendant. I've been a living babysitter for this lady. That's another long story. I was there for about 6 months. It came after one of my park summers. I had nowhere else to turn, and this lady asked me to, watch her kids, and it just turned out really bad. She was manipulative, very manipulative, and didn't pay me most of my money earned. So I worked at a call center. I did that for 3 years. I was amazing at it. I'm not gonna lie. One of the most interesting jobs I ever had. United Furniture Warehouse. I was a manager in training there. Electronic Boutique. I was a manager in training there. Um, every job I pretty much had, they've offered me promotions, and I've turned most of them down. Um, again, I value my time, I value who I am, and I just cannot see a quarter more or 25, a nickel more, um, to be worth all the extra stress. I go there, I do my job, I do it well, they notice it, but their offers never seem to reflect the potential. And it's kind of funny with United Furniture Warehouse. I was there as an assistant manager or manager in training. Sorry, that's what they hire everybody as. Is what they said. And I reported two employees who were stealing. They tried to get me in on the stealing thing, and that's just not me. And I reported two employees. And come to find out, the boss, when he hired me, saw the least potential in me versus those two. He actually thought they were management material, and I was just filler space. And once I've done that, of course, he had, saw me in a better light and stuff like that. And as time went, I had to leave that job, and it was funny because when he found out I was leaving, he wanted to fast track me to management then because he realized, I was better than the other two. I was a good catch. I was honest, and I was making I think $9 an hour at the time, and they offered me to stay, a dollar raise, instant dollar raise, and to make me assistant manager, and I'm being fast tracked to have manager position, manager of my own store within 6 months to a year. Well, I turned it down because again, when I found out that he hired me and paid me a dollar less than the two thieves, I was like, that's insulting. I know you don't know me from a can of paint, but my work history has proven it. At this time, I was probably 27, 28 this time, and once I turned that down, he got on the phone with his GM, his boss. He was the GM. I guess he got on with the regional manager then. And I met this guy. This guy was like third, fourth from top of the company. He called, and I guess they thought this would work. And he offered me 2 hour or $2 increase in pay, and would give me my own location, where I go in as manager training, but I will be running the store within, I think he said, 3 months. And again, it was too late. Um, the store he wanted me to run would have been an hour drive to get to. So the raise wouldn't have helped much in the sense of I had to, I didn't even have a car at the time, I don't think. So I had to buy a car payment, car insurance, gas. to make $2 an hour more to be manager at a place that really didn't see my potential. Just now they saw it, you know, and it's too late. A lot of it's kind of storyline in my life, but it's all good. Anyways, next place. I worked for Sound Ford before, selling cars. I hated it. Hated lying to customers. I hated telling them that this is the best we can do for them, knowing that literally I have three other options that are a lower price. So if you want to ever buy a car, don't take the first offer. They have plenty of offers they can offer you. Don't tell them how much you're going to put down. It got to the point where I had one customer come in and they said they were going to put $1,000 down and trade in the truck, which the truck was newer than anything we had on the lot. Seemed like because we used a lot. It was clean, cherry candy colored. It was just nice with that. Had the towing package papers that proved the new engine had just been put in. It was nice, and they kept telling me that this is enough. This is enough. And this guy had 900 credit score, Wells Fargo guaranteed loan, and they just kept trying to push it. And the guy knew that they were BSing him. So when I went back to came back the second time saying, well, the boss asked me, he's like, oh, no, no, I'm done with this. Let me talk to your boss directly. And I ended up losing that sale because they kept pushing. But I learned the strategy. Whatever anyone told me that they could put down, I didn't tell my boss the same amount. If someone came in and said they could put 500 down, I tell my boss, man, they ain't got much money. They said they could put 200 down. My boss, oh, go try to get more money from them. See if you get at least 300, 400 bucks. I said, I'll try, boss. And I go in there and I sit down and talk to the person. And they be like, what's going on? Oh, my boss is on the phone. He'll be back in often. And I'll go talk to him then. So I talk to him about small sort of sports or whatever. Oh, let me see. I think he's off the phone. I go back in there. Hey, boss, they said they'll get 400 down. Oh, 400? If they can get 400, they can get 500. Oh, okay, okay. I'll go talk to him. And I go back in there and say, okay, my boss says if you can, that 500 will work just fine. He's just got to earn out a few more deals and details and stuff, and we'll go from there. And be like, the customer happy because they didn't get the back and forth. I go to the boss and say, you know what, boss? I talked to my other five. The boss like, good job, young man. And I got the sales. So it was easy. It was easy a job for me to do, but morally, I just hated it. I hated it. It compromised who I was, and so I didn't stay there long. Where else? I was a property manager for a little bit. I worked at Sears for a little bit. I mentioned Electronic Boutique, which is now GameStop. They should still be around, hopefully. I worked with Yellow Pages, delivering telephone books. I once loaded a ship, and I mean a ship where you go down like four ladders inside of it, and you're still got levels underneath. It was a big old ship. We had to load their food because I think they were offshore fishermen. They go up to Alaska or something, and they have a conveyor, not conveyor belt. They would lower the pallets by crane into the ship, and when it got lower, we literally had a human assembly line, I guess you can say, like conveyor belt of humans. Someone every like 3-4 steps, and so first person grabbed this big old package of 20 pounds of chicken, hands to the next person, next person, next person, and go down like 12 people, and then the last person would actually be in the kitchen or where they're storing the food, and they were moving around where they're supposed to. And it was a grueling job because the only break you got was when they bring a new pallet down, so you had to bam, 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 bam. Oh, and there's one I forgot. I worked at Goodwill doing the assembly line before. It was kind of one person assembly line. We were packaging meals for unfortunate people, and so there'd be like 4 boxes. It was care package. It was nothing major, like some cookies, a juice box, crackers, and weird enough like a paper with a pencil or something. So I think it was maybe for the homeless. So I don't remember. It's been a long time. So we grab one out of each thing, put it in the brown paper sack, fold it or staple it, put it in the box. That's one. And we had to fill like 6 boxes a day. Um, I forgot about that. I was like 22 for that one. I worked at Wendy's. That's the burger joint. I also worked for REI for a little bit. That was very short lived. And I also cleaned floors at a grocery store. That was a horrible job because people don't realize when you go grocery shop, a lot of stuff falls underneath the shelves. And someone has to get underneath there with a broomstick or something. You can't just get your arm underneath there. So a lot of laying on your stomach on a hard, marble floor, wiping stuff around. It was not the best job ever. But a lot of that was when I was young, when I didn't have degrees, which is funny because truth be, and I'm not trying to scare you from school. Get the degrees, boys. It's gonna mean something someday. Probably more so for you, hopefully. But I have never used my degree or degrees, either one of them, to get a job. It's weird. I had more jobs before I had higher education, and it's not about turning them down. It's about, I think, when you um, are willing to do anything for money. Like say, your list of jobs I had, people are quicker to bring you in if you're the best of the bunch. But when it comes to hiring someone for something that's a higher paying job, the companies want to make sure they make the right decision, the best decision, because this person they're hoping stays there for years. Not like a lot of the jobs I mentioned. Um, some were 3 months, some was weeks, some was up to 3 years. But now I don't think a lot of them expected anyone to stick around for 3 years of their craft for the most part. But if you get a job at say IBM or some advertising job, they don't expect you to leave after 3 months. So I think that's why part of it could be, I don't know. Um, but yeah, it's been a long, interesting working road, and I know this video is going on 20 minutes, on 21 now, and I just wanted to let you guys know that you know it doesn't matter really where you start when it comes to jobs, it's where you end. And right now, right now, I've been doing Uber off and on. So there's another job on the list. That makes 26, I think, 27. So and I will do more if I have to. I have this other odd job I've been doing off and on. It's mainly construction site cleanup. I've been doing that mostly since this whole thing started. And trust me, in Texas heat, doing that kind of stuff, it's hard. But you got bills to pay. You got to get out there and do it. You got people you're responsible for. You got to get out there and do it. And life throws you changes. Last minute, you don't know. A lot of those jobs, out of all those jobs I listed, only two of those jobs ever let me go. Period. And a lot of them I left because, like I said, I wasn't happy with them. I didn't see a future potential, or I got up and moved. Things change sometimes suddenly, and so like I said, otherwise I wouldn't be doing construction and pickup. Trust me, but the Lord takes care of you. Um, like I said, I haven't did no major job in a while, but amazingly, I still have my steel toe work boots. I still had them, and they fit perfect. So everything happens for a reason. I bought those boots 7, 8 years ago, and the last pair of shoes I even bought before that was just almost, I think, a year ago, and before that was like almost 3 or 4 years. But those work boots are probably the best shaped pair of shoes I have, because I wasn't using them, but I kept bringing them. No matter where I moved from Washington to different houses, I kept bringing them, and they came in handy. So, but anyways, let's end on a very positive note. Let me think about one of those jobs real fast, and I can tell you a funny story, hopefully. Um, Let me look at the list. I have it over on the side. Oh, um, the call center. I had a job. When I was working at the call center, we answered for everybody on the planet. We answered for doctors. We answered for the army. We had over 600 clients that could call in any given time. That's what made the job interesting. Literally, I can go from "Thank you for calling the Yearbook Order Center. How may I help you place your order?" to "Thank you for calling Natural Remedies Skin Creams." To United States Army. What was it? If you're not going to be back in time, I can't remember. It was something line like that. To Dr. Wilson's office, how may I help you? Or this is Speedy Glass Auto Repair. We were supposed to be the companies. So I mean, any given moment it could be anything. But I had a lady call in one time. This is love. This is love, kids. um Her husband, she calls by her husband, and she's like, "Gosh, and I'm making the names up, I don't remember the names. "Gosh, to Dr. Phillips." And I'm like, sorry, ma'am, Dr. Phillips' office is closed because it's like 9 o'clock at night. And she's like, "Oh, I know, it's just, can maybe he does on call, or maybe he can take a call because it's kind of an emergency." And I'm like, what's going on? If you can tell me what's going on, I can relay it to the on-call doctor, and they might be able to help you. And like, and she's, gives me information and stuff. She's like, well, it's from my husband. He's been backed up real bad, and I don't know what to do. We tried to use the wooden spoon and everything. It's just none's moving. And I just pause because I'm like, did she just say they tried to use a wooden spoon to clear out his bum? I'm like, oh my god. And she said, I or we, and I'm thinking that means this woman loves this man that much that he actually bent over and, and for no better saying, parted the moons. She went in there with a spoon. And, and I sit there thinking that's disgusting. But that's love, I mean, because I don't think I ever met anyone who do that for me, and I don't think I can't remember anyone. Well, okay, I probably would, but still, that's disgusting. So it was kind of funny, and I didn't laugh at her, of course. I told her, I'll get the doctor and have you call me back and stuff, and yeah, some of the calls I would get there, like the yearbook thing I mentioned. Some lady got mad at me one time because we just place orders. We don't make the yearbooks. We order for 700 some schools. We just place the order. Now, every book has, and you probably know this when you guys watch this, boys, by then, a yearbook staff, a yearbook advisory and all that stuff. And that lady called me one time, and I told her, she gave me the number, and I punched it. I said, okay, well, it looks like the orders for that book they have stopped, and we no longer can take orders. And she's like, well, I just got my kids' pictures, and they're a senior, and they ain't in the yearbook. And I said, okay, well, unfortunately, we don't decide who's in the yearbook. We create the yearbooks. That's the only thing we do on our side. And she goes, that ain't not right. And I'm like, it froze my brain for a moment because I'm a logical thinker. And I said, excuse me. She goes, that ain't not right. You be able to do something about it. And I thought, that ain't not right. It's just the double negatives just like froze me, and I just had to pause for a second. She's like, hello. I'm like, ain't not right. So it is right. It no But yeah, I had fun. Most of my jobs, I could say, I know the list was 26, 27, but there's some I probably forgot. So let's say out of the 30 jobs I had, um, and that's not even counting volunteer work. That's not counting internships. But out of about the 30 I had, I would say safely, I enjoyed at least 20, 25 of them. I wouldn't change experiences in most of them for nothing. I mean, there was like four really skunky ones, and ew, Little Caesars again. But I wouldn't change it. So, like I said, get out there, get some experience. Work. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Work a different type of jobs because it'll help you get ready for a career. Um, and that way, when you get that career, you'll be happy that you ain't busting dishes like I did at the Yum Yum Tree. That you ain't digging ditches. Yeah, that's a job I didn't say. I dug a ditch, a couple ditches actually over the years, but shoveling dirt ain't fun. Construction site cleanup ain't fun. Ain't not right. All right, love you boys. Bye.